What's going on, everybody? JT here. We've got C Will, a smaller show today. It's episode 73. Super excited to have it. Hopefully, we've got Michael not showing up from Algo Foundry, but we wanted to give everybody a quick rundown on Messina One's new innovative product. They just came out with mALGO, which is a liquid staking, yield bearing derivative of Algorand that you can basically set it and forget it and participate in Algorand governance through DeFi and retain your liquidity. It's pretty cool. I know a lot of people have participated using Folks Finance G-Algo. It's similar to that. It's a little probably closer, similar to the X-Algo that they just released, though not available on different chains yet. But yeah, really interesting stuff. We're going to share our screen real quick, but how you doing, C-Will?
I'm well. Very excited about this demo here. Another liquid staking solution I think is a great idea. Algorand ecosystem is continuing to grow, so let's get to it.
Absolutely. It's certainly continuing to grow. It's actually really cool to see all of the Algorand news recently, especially during the bear market. It's a good sign to know that people are still building and still building strong, not just building, random little projects that no one's going to use, but hopefully certain pieces of infrastructure that will stand the test of time. So that's certainly
Definitely.
cool. For everyone tuning in, appreciate you tuning in for our Saturday show. I know we usually go live on Thursdays. Smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, share the video. Let us know what you think in the live chats. Do you want to have you used the liquid staking bridge yet, or not the bridge, the liquid staking mALGO?
I
Let us
did.
know.
Yes, I
Awesome.
used it so far, but I'm excited for the audience to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and this worked out. It looks like we've got Michael not joining us backstage. I just saw him pop up, so hopefully we'll be pulling him on the stage shortly. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions regarding liquid staking, mALGO, Messina One, or if you just want to hang out and eventually watch this demo. But let's see if Mike is ready to come on stage. I don't see his face there yet, so let's do a quick talk on what they are unveiling, and then we'll pull Mike up.
For sure.
All right, so sharing my screen now, and for those that can see it, Messina One introduces the mALGO. This is liquid staking for Algorand Governance. Stake, trade, and earn rewards. If you click on this Medium article right here, let's see if I can change my screen so everyone can see that as well. Let's see, window, Messina One, share, and here we are. Oh, memberships. All set with that medium. Thank you, though. So, Messina One unveils liquid staking for Algorand Governance, launching mALGO, a liquid staking product for Algorand Governance. It accepts algo and accrues governance rewards, so the value of mALGO appreciates over time, which is actually really cool because mALGO, as I said, is a yield-bearing asset. So there's a point in time, where for G-Algo, for example, is always worth one algo. You deposit it, and at the end of the period, you can receive one algo for every G-Algo you have. But mALGO could, basically be worth as much as 2 or 3 algo in the future, depending on how much yield has accumulated on that mALGO, which is actually really, really interesting.
Yeah.
It enables holders to trade staked positions and further participate in on-chain decentralized finance, which is also pretty cool. You can basically trade in and out of a staked position as opposed to having to unstake and then trade, which is definitely super cool. Similar to liquid staking protocols like Lido Finance and Rocket Pool, Messina One brings this innovation to Algorand, where governance rewards have distributed over 480 million algos, and APR has reached as high as almost 11%, which is pretty fantastic. Let's see, staked algos are automatically restaked every governance period, so mALGO holders do not have to periodically burn and restake to receive governance rewards. This added convenience means holders do not have to actively manage their governance participation, and DeFi protocols will not have to suffer sharp drops in TVL around each quarterly governance period, which is actually a really good point as well, because we do see this happen basically every 3 months where TVL increases and decreases. So after the governance period's over, TVL has a nice drastic decrease, and upon signups, it has a drastic increase. This could help make that a nice, more steady, continuous growth pattern as opposed to what we've been seeing in the past. All funds are staked in smart contracts to ensure a decentralized ecosystem that keeps algos safe. So I think everyone gets the quick rundown on this. I do see Mike looks to be ready to go. We're going to pop him up. How you doing, Mike?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah, it's just been a very, very long week with Token 2049 and Career Blockchain week before that. So
Oh, totally okay. We're
hanging.
happy to have you here. I hope your day has been good so far. And how's Token 2049 been?
Well, I mean, it's been pretty busy, as you know. It's jam packed right before F1 week or
Mm,
weekend in Singapore. So a lot of people come in for either or both, events. And then there were a couple other big things as well happening in Singapore in the same week. So just a ton of people, back-to-back meetings, and after parties and events and stuff like
mhm.
this. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. It honestly did look like something I regret missing out on. To be honest.
Yeah, same here. Any quick highlights you got from Token 2049?
yeah, well, I mean, most of our time was spent on a couple of like private events or after party events that we actually did ourselves. But we met quite a few people for the venture studios. So it's outside of Algorand, obviously, but for Say Network, Ton Network, a bunch of people talking about GameFi and the new stuff that's happening on crypto and L2s and stuff like this. So it's been pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even of course, you were just talking about broadly the crypto market, but even Algorand itself at Token 2049 had a lot of big announcements. I mean, you saw John Woods announcing incentivizations for node runners. Moving away from the relay system, the relay node runner system, to a more peer-to-peer gossip network, which is super exciting. AlgoKit V2, I believe, or
Yep.
2.0 is launching in Q4. So a lot of big things for Algorand in particular as well. So it seemed like a super successful conference. What was the sentiment like there, even though we're still, I mean, in theory, in the depths of a bear market?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it's actually picking up quite a lot in Asia. I wouldn't say that, out of the bear or anything like that, but there's a lot of people that have sort of put their heads down and started building this year, and so some interesting products and concepts are coming out. As you also, just mentioned John Woods' talk, but we actually had him in the office the day before, and we are sort of grilling him about this stuff. We're talking about liquid staking as well. And the thing about AlgoKit that makes it very interesting is just how good the smart contracts directly in Python without PyTeal
Mm.
is. I
Oh
mean, it's
yes,
just
that's actually a big piece of news he dropped as well, is moving the coding language over to Python, a much more popular and widely known and used coding language. That's definitely exciting.
Yeah, big
yeah, for
moves.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the MetaMask announcement, Algorand
No
on
yeah,
shit.
with the
MetaMask.
With the
Yeah.
yeah,
snaps, it's just one thing after another, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good news.
yeah,
So
for
before
sure.
you came on the show, I'm sure you heard us doing a quick rundown of what mALGO is, what this liquid staking is over at Messina One. But we'd love to hear it from you, of course. I feel like you could probably give us a better rundown than me just reading, that from that Medium article. So, what is liquid staking? We'll start off there because some people might not even know what liquid staking is, and then how does Messina One's liquid staking product differ from other liquid staking products that are on the market?
Right. Okay. So we decided to call it liquid staking because, and not liquid governance, right? Because what we're trying to get to is that there's this idea of like sort of locked liquidity in the market, and we're trying to produce something that eliminates that problem, right? Algorand in particular is a tough one because of the way that the governance system is actually designed. It's actually very hard, actually impossible, to create a truly liquid token.
Mm.
So GAlgo did it. I don't think such a great job, but they did the first one. It was pretty okay, but it had problems in the sense that you still had to commit your algos to GAlgos within a very specific period.
Mhm.
You had to, unwrap it within a very specific period. You had to continuously do it. So, like every 3 months, you'd be on a cycle. So there's no fire and forget. It's not a long-term hodler without participation. Maybe that's why they did it. I'm not sure. And then basically the rewards got tied to the wallet itself, and not to the token,
Mhm.
right? And so what we tried to do with mALGO is eliminate some of those features. And the reason for that is we like composability in DeFi, right? So we have a couple of algori or Algorand, things like Algorand, that are DeFi protocols, and it makes it very difficult to do things on a week by week basis or day by day basis, if you don't have an unwrapping functionality, because you would then have to rely on liquidity indexes in order to exit, right, or to trade the tokens, and Algorand's dexes are not super liquid. Let's just say it that way.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, okay, maybe they can handle $400,000 or something like this without major slippage, but no more than that. So it wasn't a great thing. So we set out to solve some of those problems with mALGO. So essentially, the idea is that you can mint or wrap, or we call it stake, right, within just the governance period with the mALGO, but you can unstake it at any time, and you can unstake it at the prevailing rate. So this basically gives you the opportunity to basically use it in DeFi really composably and liquidly, which is the goal basically.
That sounds amazing. Set it and forget it is
Yeah.
what I like about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, nothing against Folks Finance. I actually love Folks Finance and the platform and the people over there. But you did bring up a completely good point. And I have a couple of friends who aren't as into the Algorand ecosystem. They do hold algo, they do participate in DeFi, but they're not on Twitter. They're not really aware of certain dates. And I have two friends in particular, the last like 2 or 3 governance rounds, that were like, damn, I didn't unstake I didn't unstake and get my rewards from the G algo. So they're basically just holding G algo from like 2 periods ago, which is at this point not necessarily worth it. But yeah, it's
Right.
it's certainly a pain point, which it is nice that they introduced something that the ecosystem needed. But it's great to see improvements being made, honestly. So we wanted to do a demo. How do you feel about that? Just a quick run through on how the liquid staking works.
Sure, absolutely. Ken.
Awesome. Do you guys in the live chat want to see that as well? Give us a thumbs up or something if you want to see that. I think we're going to do it anyway, but just curious on your thoughts over there. All right, so we've got this page over here. If ever anyone wants to go and try it out as well, head on over to Messina.One. It'll bring you to this lovely page right here. You can go to the bridge, or you can click on the liquid staking. We're going to click on liquid staking in the top, about the top middle, a little bit top left. And then we're going to connect our wallet. Of course, many people that have used apps know that that's always the first step. I'm using my phone wallet, so I'm going to pull it up on the phone real quick and see how it is. I've actually not used this yet, so this is a full first time use just to see how simple it is.
Okay, I'm glad to see that you're using Para, not mALGO. That's a good thing.
Yes, we have not used mALGO since that happened, unfortunately.
Since the great rekey.
We used to love mALGO. So the wallet is connected. For those that can't see, you can see this down at the bottom right. Our wallet's connected. We're gonna stake 10 algo, so we put 10 there. We receive 10 mALGO. There's the reward fee, which we could talk about in a little bit. There's a 10% fee. And then by checking this box, you confirm that you've understood the risks. There's terms and conditions right here if anyone's interested in reading them. And I'm going to click on stake. Review the transaction, 10 algo, 10 mALGO, transaction fee, confirm stake. I go back to my phone, confirm all. And we are good. Look at that. So we have deposited 10 algo. Yes, very smooth. We have received 10 mALGO. It shows the fee. It shows the transaction hash. If anyone wants to view it on Algo Explorer, they're certainly able to do that. But yeah, we have liftoff. Honestly,
and that took like 3.3 seconds.
Yeah, literally the whole from going to the web page,
Right.
clicking the wallet, depositing the algo, getting the mALGO. That took what, a total of 2 minutes, maybe less.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fantastic, honestly. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about the reward fee and then the mALGO, how it increases over time because it accrues.
And then the unstaking process as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk about all that.
Right. Well, okay. So one of the reasons why we did this, besides helping composability in DeFi, is actually trying to create a positive or grab the grab a victory from the jaws of defeat, right?
Yep.
And so building DeFi and Algorand has always been sort of a very tricky thing because it's got a chilling effect on governance. So basically what's happening is prior to these liquid staking tokens, people could just hold algo, vote, and get 6 to 8% or whatever it is per year APY, and not take any risk other than the fluctuation risk of the algo itself. And so why would you put your algos into governance, right? And if you did, you would have to typically choose. You would say, oh, I'm going to either do the DeFi route or the governance route because of the nature of locking it in your wallet. And so what we've tried to do with mALGO is actually create a interest-bearing asset so that you're actually, by just participating with mALGOs, you're actually gaining the governance rewards over time, as well as whatever DeFi things you get. And so why is it a victory out of jaws of defeat? Well, basically it allows us as Algorand builders to offer very similar techniques and or strategies in DeFi. But if you do it on Algorand, you get 8% more than if you do it on Ethereum, just because of the nature of the interest-bearing token. And so, basically, if we did for example, if we did a option selling thing like Algorand, and we did exactly the same on Ethereum and Algorand would make more. And so it might encourage people to bring their assets into Algorand. Why do we charge a reward fee? Well, basically what that is when the rewards come in, we actually, as a protocol, take 10% of the rewards as a fee. And what we do with that fee is we're actually going to create a bunch of programs with other DeFi partners, incentivize them to use mALGOs within their pools, within their lending, within their DEXs, and all this kind of thing with that 10% fee. It's sort of a marketing fee, if you can think of it this way. And try to get mALGO really as a first-class citizen in DeFi rather than just some token that you put your money in during the governance period.
Right.
And if you see what folks' proposals are, they have a very similar outlook on GAlgo. If their proposal actually goes through, our fees and their fees are pretty much at parity. It depends on how you look at it, but it's how much DeFi rewards you get and so on, which is a different pool. But it's pretty much within the same ballpark. So everybody's sort of going in this direction. We are also trying to obviously work with all the DeFi protocols right now. We just didn't have enough time during this launch and this governance period to really solidify a lot of partnerships, but we will have them by the time the next governance rewards roll around. And so we'll be in just about everywhere on Algorand DeFi. Yeah.
So
I'll take over from here real quick.
take me out.
Let's see. Sure. That was kind of funny. All right, so I do have a question real quick about how do we tell the value of mALGO over time? Because one of the things that's kind of nice about GAlgo is if it goes, below parity, if it's, say 0.95 algo, it's actually it's a decent buy because then you can hold it and get one algo back at the end of the period. But with an interest-bearing algo, there's a chance over time one mALGO could be worth like 1.3 algo or something like that based on the interest that it accrued. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
it will go up over time.
are there any mechanisms or anything in place where I could go and like tell what the value of mALGO should be based on this accrued interest, and just to see if there's differences in the market? And I know, maybe a market maker's like, oh, it's a good buy right now because of the interest it accrued. It's actually cheaper than it should be or more expensive than it should be. Are there any mechanisms in place to show that?
Yeah, well, okay. So at this time, the easiest way is probably just going to be on the stake and unstake page, where it will show you the exchange rate directly on the liquid staking tab that you want. That would be the easiest way at this time. We may create an API or something like that for people to integrate it, but typically what will happen is during there's 3 periods, right, within the governance of Algorand. So that you've got the commitment period, you've got the voting period, and you've got the rewards period, right? And so the rewards period is where they actually pay out the rewards. And that's actually a 2-week period, and it doesn't happen all at one time.
Right.
So it trickles in or whatever, different wallets at different times or different algorithms or whatever, however they do it, right? So when those rewards actually come in, we can sort of estimate what that's going to be based on the algos that are locked. But we can only estimate because, actually, a very interesting stat, almost 30% of all wallets that participate in governance actually get kicked out of governance due to different reasons, either moving the too many algos out of their wallet or not voting or a bunch of different reasons like this. And so the rewards are actually generally higher than what you estimate.
Right.
So there'll be some speculation there, but as soon as okay, and then the next wrinkle, in order to facilitate unstaking at any time, what we actually do is we take the total number of algos that are staked in mALGO, and we trunch it into very small pieces. And so each piece is 0.1% of the total notional value or the total TVL. And then we commit those in little smart contracts. And the reason why we do that is if someone was to unstake during, let's say, the voting period before the rewards come in, they would get it at today's price, right, at that day's price. But we would have to take the algos out of those smart contracts to be able to facilitate that withdrawal. And that would then ruin, it would disable those algos from getting the governance, right? So if we trunch it into 0.1% pieces, the biggest hit for the entire ecosystem is 0.1% of the rewards pool for mALGO, right? So we trunch it like this. As a result of that, when the rewards are paid, there's thousands and thousands of wallets that they get paid, or smart contracts that get paid to. Right? So it's not just one big payment, right? So there will be some speculation as to what that step up in value of the mALGO is going to be. And we really won't know what it is. Now, when all the rewards are in, we will change the value of mALGO when you unstake to, we'll set the exchange rate, basically. We'll increase it. So that I anticipate when mALGOs are on DEXs, that, in those days prior to that happening, or hours maybe, there will be some people buying mALGOs because the price will go up
Right.
over time.
Yeah,
So
that was. Go ahead,
go
JT.
for it. I was just going to
my
say, so if I understand it correctly, so basically there could be a range, so to speak, in which the mALGO price could be, and every 3 months or so, once the rewards actually come in, that's when it'll be definitive, because you'll be able to actually do the math based on the algos and the rewards.
Right.
So every 3 months or so, there'll be an updated price, if you will, that hopefully will be somewhat close to what it's trading on decentralized exchanges.
Yeah, exactly. And then, the other little wrinkle is that the way that DeFi rewards, which is a different pool from governance rewards, work, it's given to DeFi protocols to sort of distribute to people that interact with their DeFi protocol, right? And it's also based on which ASAs are interacted with. And so there's some of those DeFi rewards will also go into the mALGO pool on top of the governance rewards. And depending on how popular the DeFi protocol is and how much TVL they are, did they hit their cap or not, that also vary.
Now I'm curious, how I haven't really checked, but how liquid is mALGO currently? And are there any plans to increase liquidity for people that want to, trade in and out of mALGO? It would be, a shame if people held an algo or mALGO that was yield bearing and accrued interest, but then the slippage, or because of lack of liquidity, they basically, lost those gains anyway in a trade.
Right. So basically, at the moment, there is no DeFi protocol that's handling mALGO other than Algorand, which is our own protocol. So there's no DEX or lending pool or whatever for mALGO. That will be coming out in the coming months. We are trying to make very, very close relationships so that we can sort of create more stable coin curve pools rather than the traditional AMM. X times Y equals K pools, just because it will result in people not having to have as much slippage as you just said. But that's still stuff that we're working on. So at the moment, you can You can stake algo for mALGO, and you can use it in Algorand, and you can unstake it. But in the coming months, you'll see a lot more DeFi integrations as well.
Oh, that's awesome because we do have. I think I lost it, but we had a question here in the live chat. Oh, here it is. Crypto for Change. He couldn't be here today, but he was asking, would love to know the best way to use mALGO with other products like Algorand, which you did just mention there. But are you able to maybe unveil any of the other projects you might integrate, or is that sort of being held close to the chest until the time comes?
Well, I mean, obviously the dexes or would be first. So Pact, Humble, Tiny Man would be the first people we hope to get in. Algorand is already there, as I said. We are talking to folks. I mean, I know it's a little bit of it might be a little bit sensitive or whatever, but there's no reason for them not to create a pool in their lending protocol, right? And yeah, there's a couple others that we are talking to as well, as maybe we'll start our own DeFi protocols as well to handle it.
Fantastic. And we got a couple people in the chat asking if they can already participate mALGO staking live. And as you just saw, this was a live demo earlier. We weren't on testnet, we were on mainnet. So from where I'm sitting, you certainly can. You certainly can go stake some algo, get some mALGO back. We just did it. It was a breeze. It literally took 2 minutes, maybe less than that. Honestly, it probably would have taken a minute if I wasn't explaining it during the process. Very, very smooth. Do have another question right here, which I believe the answer is no. I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but would like to get the official answer anyway. Is there any chance of getting less algo back, like you don't redeem 1-to-1? So, which I just don't see how that's possible because it's always accruing those interest rewards. But I just wanted to put it out there so nobody had those thoughts.
Yeah, no. It's all very, very easy to track on chain, and yeah, don't worry.
Perfect.
Your algos are safe.
Cool, awesome. And we did
So
have this
when
question,
is the official launch is coming up? Next governance pyramid, the official.
Right. So we've launched it, right? The website's live, and we're trying to get some chaos to talk about it, and some DeFi protocols to adopt it. But the actual first sort of commitment period ends in I think 27 days or something like that now, maybe 26. I'm not sure. But when that commitment period ends, whatever's minted in mALGO, that's all that's going to be available on DeFi. For people who haven't committed yet, they'll be able to buy if someone wants to sell, but you won't be able to get more mALGOs until the next governance period. So now's the time to get it if you want it in this early period. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just added onto the screen here the little timeline. I believe this is what you were talking about. So up until October 14th, you can stake for this governance period, and then the rewards will come hopefully at the beginning of the following year. But that's the timeline for anybody interested in participating in this liquid staking. And I definitely think you should do it. Definitely check out Messina.one/liquid-staking. It'll bring you right here.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting times. We're actually experimenting with doing this with other things as well, but so far on Algorand, it would be limited governance and DeFi rewards.
Would you be able to shed any light on any of those other things you were experimenting with, or?
Well, I mean, what we've come to realize, right? We're trying to find a niche for specifically operating a bridge. I mean, we're building a lot of things on top of Messina, right? It's a very big interop play for us. It's not just a bridge; it's just the first piece of technology we built that's consumer facing. Liquid staking is the second piece of technology that's consumer facing. But we're building a lot of interop tools on top of the Messina platform or protocol, and what we've come to realize is that actually the bigger bridges, the bigger sort of interop messaging layer protocols like Layer 0 and Wormhole, right, Axelar, whatever, they actually ignore the up and coming L2s quite considerably. So, for example, Say Network, which is run on Cosmos, or CoreDAO, which is an EVM layer 2 on top of Bitcoin, or Base, or these OPBNB, so many of them. I mean, I probably talk an hour just to list all of the names, right? But these new L2s that come out, they're all POS, right? They're all a proof of stake. They all have delegated validation. They all have a requirement for USDC bridging, which are the things that Messina is really focusing on in terms of the consumer applications. And so, our intent is to try and put these liquid staking and bridging, USDC bridging components into all these L2s before anyone else. Yeah.
The race is on, it seems.
Let's pull the roadmap up.
Yeah, do you guys have a roadmap on the website that I can find somewhere?
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
It's on the homepage, yeah.
On the bottom of Messina One or Algo Foundry?
On the bottom of Messina One, on the homepage,
Perfect.
not the liquid staking.
We found it. We found it. Awesome. So we have a question in the chat. Just curious on chatting about this roadmap. So let's pull it up right here. Let's see. Awesome. It is there. Where are we on this roadmap? Are we what phase are we on currently? The 2 checks. So we're on phase 3. Is that it?
Yep. We're on phase 3.
Awesome. So we've brought in chains like Algorand, Ethereum, Polygon. I think I saw Arbitrum too. That's phase 2, and Avalanche. Now we're in the liquid governance phase. So what's phase 4? Phase 4 is bringing on chains like BNB chain and NFT bridge. Interesting. Could you talk a little bit more about NFT bridging? Is this something that has a market for it? Are people requesting this?
Yeah, so we already have NFT bridging done. It's not linked to this particular homepage, but we have built it into a few of our customers' websites already. Why is it important? Well, on NFTs that are specifically related to like just speculation and art, it's not so important, right? But But for NFT uses, like the real world uses, like for instance, some people are doing ticketing, like TravelX. There's a ticket chain that I was just a judge at a NTU competition a couple of days ago, a couple of startups pitching and stuff, and one of them was building on Algorand a ticket sort of NFT project. So when you go do a ticketing thing like Eventbrite or whatever, you get an NFT about that event, and it's like memorabilia and this kind of thing. When it comes to this. Sort of moving it between chains becomes more important. When it becomes gamefi, it becomes more important, right? So one of the projects that we work on is a game publisher, and they're mostly on the other chains. They're mostly on Polygon and these kind of things, and they're omni-chain, and we build in their questing method, for example, that has Game Pass, which measures your stats of playing and your game time data, your quests that you perform in the game, and changes your PFP NFT as you do that. And you can move those gaming assets in their metaverse between different chains and your PFP NFT between different chains, for example. We're also working on a launchpad that's doing a very similar thing. Yeah.
That is the future right there, the gaming, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have to figure out the mechanics of it. Like this play to earn didn't work, right? And then people right now are looking at the more RNG style games. Most people that I've seen in the industry are actually now talking about obfuscating the Web3 components. So it starts as a sort of traditional Web2 game, and Web3 stuff is happening. You don't know it, and it says, "Oh, you got some rewards waiting, guys." And then you click on that, and then you go into the wallet and you see your tokens and NFTs and stuff like this. So you sort of gently bring people into that Web3 space instead of like force them to do it.
I think that's the way to go. Honestly,
Yes.
there's a lot of people that are standoffish to some of the Web3, just going from one to the other. So yeah, I think that's definitely the way to go. I do want to ask a little bit more about this roadmap. So the plan is to also integrate the base chain, Coinbase chain, which is pretty awesome. Messina One will be launching their own token as well, which I believe would tie into the governance voting, if I'm not mistaken. And then it says on phase 7, there's a couple things on phase 6 as well, but phase 7 intrigues me. Lend, borrow, and yield. Does Messina One plan to essentially turn itself into its own sort of one-stop DeFi shop where you can lend, borrow, bridge, participate, maybe even Algorand option vaults? Like, what's the ultimate vision here with Messina?
Yeah, so I mean, the ultimate vision is actually to stop talking about DeFi and crypto as a wallet, as a DeFi protocol, as a chain, but start talking about it as an experience. And so we want to stop using the term Web3 wallet and start using the term Web3 experience. And the idea of it is that you have a sort of a pane of glass, and right where this is your control center, right? And this control center, this GUI, this graphical user interface, it's available on your phone. It's available in your messaging app. It's available on the web. It's available in MetaMask Snap if you like MetaMask. It's available wherever you want to use your computer or your device or whatever device you want to use. And you can see your funds, and you can interact with anything, anywhere, any chain, any token at any time. Basically, that's the vision.
That sounds amazing. That's where we all should go, because that's pretty much what the Web 2 internet is now. And we got to
Yep.
keep that going. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we're taking steps towards it. The first, as I said, the first thing we had to build was a bridge, because we need the capability when we talk about interop between chains to send messages, tokens, NFTs, these kind of things. Now we're building liquid staking so that we have interest bearing tokens on every chain. We are going to build stuff like index tokens, so that you can buy an index token and you get the ETH, algo, the whatever, all those tokens in one
That's awesome.
box. So
Mhm.
you have a
I'm surprised that hasn't
fluctuation.
happened. I'm surprised that
Yeah,
hasn't happened yet. I mean, I know Blue Shift, which is building on the Cardano and Algorand sidechain that Milkomeda created, they have index tokens, but it's not
No.
necessarily on Algorand. Like, you have to go through that process of going through Milkomedia and then getting to Blue Shift. So there's a little bit of a process to make it happen. But I really, really like the idea of their index tokens. So that's brilliant. I'm glad to hear that.
So
When do you think the timeline on something like that could be?
Well, I mean, right now there's just one, got liquid staking token, so it wouldn't make sense to make it the index yet. But we we will be putting liquid staking on other chains, and as soon as we do that, we will do indexes. We also have started going into real assets and trying to make interest bearing type of tokens on real world assets. Like, for example, if you look at Algorand today, there's a gold vault. So now you can do options on commodities inside crypto. And so you'll be able to, we're basically creating a hedged market there. So you can buy these gold tokens, and it just, you get interest based on gold price movement. And we're doing a lot of things like this to try and, I don't know, obfuscate the difficulty of using crypto and Web3, basically. Yeah.
So I see one more thing on the roadmap. It says Paymaster. Can you talk
Mhm.
about the Paymaster?
Yeah, sure. So in order for this all to work, this phase 6 is actually kind of key. So what MPC and AA and Paymaster is, what that really essentially means is that our vision is that all wallets, right, where you hold funds, will actually be moved into the blockchain itself in a smart contract. And so your EOAs, your actual wallets, your private keys, wouldn't exist anymore. They're now in a smart contract. And the only thing that you need to do to be able to sort of use your funds is prove that you are the owner of that smart contract, essentially. And you could do that through biometrics. You can do it through, multi-sig, different keys on your phone. There's several ways. There's an interesting one I just saw that uses Remix, which is like sort of the onion router, sort of dark web cryptography methods. And basically all those things control the smart contract funds. And the idea behind Paymaster is those things are these wallets are then attached to this Paymaster. And whenever you interact with any blockchain, essentially you can pay the gas fees with any token that you have in your wallet. So if you happen to have Algo, and you're moving your algo, and you want to deposit your algo into, I don't know, Lido on Ethereum to do ETH liquid staking, it will convert your algo into ETH, pay the gas fee on Ethereum with ETH that's converted, and basically give you an ST ETH back, and you just don't have to worry about it, right? Essentially, it takes away it obfuscates all of these difficulties that people have with like going between chains, knowing what the native token is, understanding how the gas and network fees work. All that stuff will just go away. I'll be like, I want to do XYZ and I want to pay with this thing. Boom, it just does it. So yeah,
that's
it's
fantastic, honestly.
Yes.
That sounds like that sounds like it could be a game changer for adoption, because if people don't have to, right now to go to staked ETH, I have to sell my algo for something that I can actually bridge to Ethereum, or use a bridge and bridge it just to Ethereum and then make the trade itself or do all the deposits. So having the one click option where it basically just takes care of that all in the background, the trading, the depositing, basically everything, and you just send your
Yep.
algo and you get staked ETH back or whatever it might be. I think that's honestly game changing.
Yeah, and it's actually going to be more liberating than that, because we're still talking about swaps, which is at spot. Essentially, it will not exactly work like that. What will happen is you'll put your algo into a collateral pool on Algorand, and you'll borrow ETH against it on Ethereum, and then you'll stake it, get your staked ETH back. So you'll still have your exposure to algo. And if you pay that back, basically you get your algo back. If you don't, you forfeit your algo with liquidation. But essentially, yes.
Awesome. So of course, this show only happens with viewers like you and support from our great sponsors. So we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, I want to chat about security. I want to hear about all about how we can be reassured that our algos are safe when we deposit them into this liquid staking protocol. And we'll be right back.
You may have heard that blockchain smart contracts will revolutionize the way the world exchanges value and will dramatically change the way we work, live, and play. But how? Smart contracts are tamper-proof digital agreements that automate transactions like payout loans and dispute resolutions between two entities in a secure, efficient, and trusted manner. But for smart contracts to reach their potential, they need to securely collect real data from the outside world. That's where oracles come in. Because smart contracts cannot inherently get data from outside their native blockchain, they need an oracle solution that is as secure as the blockchain of which it is built upon. Gora is the first pure proof-of-stake consensus oracle, bringing proper decentralization, speed, security, as well as functionality for data aggregation, verifiable randomness functions, or VRF, and off-chain computation to Algorand. Think of it this way. With a proper oracle network, developers can build the applications that function as decentralized marketplaces, lending protocols, ASAs, and liquidity tracking tools. This enables an exponential increase in smart contract functionality, in turn leading to better and more robust applications, increasing user growth on decentralized applications and the Algorand ecosystem as a whole. Oracle networks, like blockchains, need to have proper decentralization, security, speed, reliability, and trustlessness. The Gora Oracle solution has all this covered. For more information, visit Gora.io.
And we are back. Appreciate everyone that stuck around for that sponsor ad. And how you doing, Mike? We are back. I want to talk about safety, security, all that jazz. I want to know how we can be reassured if, my 10 algo that we just deposited on that demo, how do I know that that's safe?
Yeah. So okay, at the moment we're still undergoing an audit. We're using a company called Vantage Point, which is here in Singapore. But audits take a while. They're frozen in time. They're not perfect. A lot of times, it's difficult for an audit team that's not involved in sort of the design of something from the start, because they're looking at the individual code. Maybe they miss an exploit that is business logic based, or race conditions or whatever. They try to do a good job, don't get me wrong, but it's not a perfect solution. So we actually also use a lot of like internal tools that are static analysis tools. These things test for like reentrancy problems and so on and so forth. Putting too much stuff in a variable, yada yada yada. And then now that we've got the rise of AI, AI is a big part of coding, and there's a lot of security AI stuff that's emerging. So obviously we run all of our code and stuff through AI, make sure the AI is looking for stuff. That's about the best that we can do. Yeah, I mean, essentially, we're not too worried about this one because it's mostly escrow contracts, which are a very known problem. We're not doing like crazy computations or anything like that. Essentially, you're giving us algo, we're holding that algo. We are splitting it into many contracts, but we're holding that algo and we're releasing it under certain terms. And this is something that we've been doing on the internet and Web3 for about 10 years or something like this. So it's
Now, does splitting it into multiple or many different contracts, does that actually increase the security because it reduces or increases the attack vectors that they would need to get to, as opposed to just having one pool of money? It's now in X amount, however many contracts it ends up being in.
well, I mean, essentially, yes, there is a way to. All right, so the way that we sort of withdraw, unwind one stake, right? These contracts is actually through a mechanism that we call delayed security or DevOps, delayed DevOps. So what happens is we don't use this mechanism of whitelisting wallets, right? So what we do is we have it one token, and it's an NFT essentially on Algorand because it's a supply of one, right? And this token has a clawback and a freeze capability from like an admin wallet, which is like a 2FA, or sorry, it's done with multi-sig ledgers, and essentially, the only way to ask for withdrawal is to or unwind, in the case, take the algos out of all these contracts, is to essentially have this token in your wallet. And you can only get the token in your wallet by asking for it. And when you ask for it, it takes 30 minutes to get it. So you make a request, 30 minutes later, you get the token. So this request is very heavily monitored. As soon as we see a request for that token, everybody knows about it, and we have 30 minutes to stop you, right? If you're not supposed to get it, right? And then basically, when you request for the token, it has a time limit as well. It gets auto-clawed out of your wallet within that time limit. So you request, you say, hey, I need this token. I need it for 15 minutes between this time and this time. And then you wait, you get this token, and then basically you can do some stuff like, hey, all right, let's initiate a withdrawal, let's unwind these contracts, or commit this thing to governance, or vote, or whatever the case is. And then when your time period expires, the token comes right out of your wallet again. You can't interact anymore. So this is kind of what we've done to solve the problem of like internal sort of trust within staff, within DevOps, and all this kind of stuff. So nobody internally to our company can, just one day go rogue and pull all the algos out, because they would need this token basically. And in terms of exploits, like I said, Algorand's actually pretty secure in terms of blockchain already, and it's a pretty well-known problem. Easy to, not easy, but done many times. And then also we've got the audit coming, and we've run through all these tools. So I wouldn't say I would bet my life on it, but I would say it's as secure as any human can make it.
So Mike, you said audit. On the site it says Kudaliski, I believe I said that right. Is that for the bridge and not for the staking? Okay,
that's correct. Yeah, Kudelski Security did the bridge audit, and Vantage Point is currently doing the liquid staking. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Fantastic. So we've got a couple questions that I think might have been answered at one point, but we've got some people coming in late. Are the contracts immutable?
You mean we can't upgrade them, right? Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
That is correct. Yeah, they are immutable. Yes.
Nice, short, sweet answer. And then this one we've certainly answered, but I just want to make sure that Algo Learner and everyone else that might have came in does know. Will we be expecting some passive APR if we use Messina? And I'll give a quick answer. It does seem like the answer is yes, because mALGO is yield bearing. It's set it and forget it. So you can either purchase the mALGO on a DEX, or you can stake algo to get the mALGO and then just hold it and passively earn those rewards.
Yep, that's correct.
Fantastic.
So Mike, for people who are a little bit late, can you do one quick overview of what we talked about here today?
Yeah, about liquid staking specifically. Right?
Yes.
I think we've covered
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So basically, mALGO is a very simple concept. It's you basically acquire mALGO by staking algo during a very specific 2-week period, which is going on right now. It's actually 4 weeks because we opened it a little bit early for the launch. But you stake it during this period. That's the only time mALGO will be minted for this governance period. You won't be able to get it after this, right? Except if it's on a DEX. And essentially, what we do is we take the algos that you give us, we split it into many wallets or smart contracts. We put those into governance. We vote on those things. We collect the rewards. We also participate with other DeFi algorithms or protocols out there to get DeFi rewards added as well. And then, as we gather those rewards from Algorand over time, that goes into the pool of algos that have been committed. And so the mALGOs go up in value. And you won't have to sort of unstake them or withdraw them at any time. You can just hold them for forever if you want to. And as you hold them, they will just continue going up in value as we get more and more governance rewards over time, essentially. But if you do want to unstake them or withdraw, you can do that at any time directly from the site. You won't have to rely on liquidity pools or anything like that to get out.
Fantastic. And it does look like we have a couple chats in the live chat asking, post the link to the staking in the chat. So I just want to say, definitely go back once this is posted. We did a live demo. I think that'll probably be the best way to see the staking in action. And there's one more question, still just trying to understand the difference of gAlgo and mAlgo. And from what I've learned so far, it does just kind of seem like mAlgo is maybe closer to actually what folks just released in the xAlgo, interest-bearing algo that, oh, sorry about that. Somebody's revving their engine outside. But anyway, it's basically one of those situations where you don't have to worry about setting your algo in and then restaking or unstaking in that 3-month period. You can basically stake at the beginning, hold on forever, and earn those rewards passively. You don't have to be like, oh, I forgot to unstake this month, and now I don't get my rewards or whatever. So in my opinion, it's more liquid, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's two essential differences. The first is that gAlgo attaches the rewards of governance to the wallet that does the staking. mALGO attaches it to the token. So you don't have to have staked it. If you buy mALGO for DEX, you still get the rewards, right? And the second part is you can unstake or unwrap it back into Algo at any time you like. There's no limitation for that.
Awesome. And I'm going to imagine the unstaking is just as smooth as the process of staking as we experienced earlier in the episode.
Well, this is a little bit of a wrinkle because we have to split it up into so many smart contracts, right? So when you unstake, it actually makes a request for withdrawal, and then you can claim it. And depending on how many algos you're asking to withdraw, that's either relatively instant or it could take up to 2 or 3 minutes. Like for 10 algo, it's instant. If you try to, like, let's imagine it grew to like billions of algos or something like this, it may take 2 or 3 minutes to pull billions of algos out of all those smart contracts. But yeah,
Gotcha.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still lightning fast when you consider how some of these applications work on other chains. So I don't think that's I don't think that's much of an issue in my opinion at all. Well,
Small gas
Michael,
fee as well, so that's always nice.
right, 0.003 algo, I believe, was the transaction fee. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's I don't even know what the math breaks down to on that. It's like a fraction of a penny or something. I'm not entirely sure. But Michael, this has been a fantastic conversation. I think the demo went really well. It was really smooth. There was a lot of great questions in the live chat. Is there anything regarding Messina One or mALGO that you want to be sure that we touch on that we didn't touch on yet, or what do you think there?
well, I'm just, keep checking the site. I will tell you, and I don't want to be a tease about it, but we will at some point, and when I say some point, I don't mean like years away. We will be doing a TGE, a token of Messina that we'll be releasing, and there will be good reasons why you should acquire that token. So look out for those announcements, basically.
Hey.
Absolutely. We'll be looking out for those. Excited actually for the token generation event and to see how Messina One incorporates their own version of governance. I think that'll be really interesting to see. We'll certainly have you back on to talk about all those developments as they develop, I suppose. And this has been a great conversation. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Sorry for being a little bit late there. Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's all
okay.
good.
We held down the fort. It's no big deal at all.
We
Everyone
did.
that's watching, I appreciate you guys watching to the end. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, share the video with a friend, share it with somebody that you think might benefit from the demo that we did earlier in the video. We are going to plan on clipping that out, so we just have a short little 2 to 3 minute demo that we can share around to people. I think that would be great. And hopefully we'll catch you all in the next episode on Thursday. Who do we have coming up on Thursday, C. Will? Do you know?
Yeah.
Off the top of your head?
Exo Worlds.
Exo Worlds. They're building like a metaverse gaming system, I believe. It's on like VeChain and Algorand and a couple other things. So that'll be a super exciting conversation. We, of course, have Stacey Warden coming on, Mark Yusko coming on, Anthony Scaramucci coming on. Not exactly sure on those dates. Film.io, huge lineup. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode. And on that note, we'll catch everyone next time.